Let's start with the negative and work our way to the positive, shall we, in this video. If you guys haven't seen any of my previous coverage, the TLDR, especially as it relates to Wayfinder, is this last week at PAX East, the devs shared some incredible information and some incredible developments behind what they're theming their Battle Pass system is. And that kind of builds off of a principle of Battle Passes don't expire. You purchase them and then you can work on them at your own pace. I think this is the solution. I think we are enabling a world of Battle Pass fatigue. You only have so much time, and every time you're going to be put under the clock, that's just too much pressure spread across too many games. I think that there's going to be a breaking point, and I think the solution that the Wayfinder devs have put out there is the right solution. Now, beyond that, they have now shared and clarified additional information that has come out, and so I want to talk to you guys about that information and those details as it relates to this. Now, I actually speculated that these, in fact, were the case in another video over on New World Central. I'll include a link in the description for you over there if you guys want to go check that out if you're curious. But just the TLDR is, what if Battle Passes don't expire, but you have a limited window to purchase them? And that's right. That's what you heard. There's still going to be an element of FOMO. Now, I hear a lot of people out there, they'll ask, what is FOMO? It stands for fear of missing out. It's a sales tactic in order for you, the buyer, to feel pressure to spend money. It's not necessarily all bad. There's a natural element of FOMO in all of our lives. Where I usually kind of get frustrated is an artificial limit of FOMO. Something where, let's say they put a clock on you and say you need to finish this in the next 30 days, otherwise it goes away. That's why I'm really excited for what Wayfinder's doing. Am I disappointed that they're going to only sell it during a window of time? Not at all. I think actually that kind of makes sense. But here's where we get to the crux of it, because there's still more information coming out, and who knows, by the time this video goes live, there could be additional information. So just keep it locked to the channel if you're interested, because I'm sure to give you guys the updated news as it rolls out. But let's start again, like I said, with the negative. I'm going to frame this because this comes from a commenter, and it's an interesting way of phrasing their comment without leaving any sources. So I kind of got a little bit frustrated at that, but we're going to highlight them, not to shame them, because they're not wrong. There definitely is misinformation in the video, but let's just toss up their comment here and let's break it down piece by piece. And then we're going to go through what the devs have said and the confusion that still seems to exist out there. And then we're going to talk about why I think this is a good thing. It says, yeah, so a bit of misinformation here, which is weird as they were quite specific. Battle Passes don't expire. Means that they don't expire after you purchase them, but you have to purchase them to keep them. Makes perfect sense. In fact, that's, again, like I said, speculated on that in an additional video because I thought, honestly, there's going to be that extra incentive to try and sell you a Battle Pass. Makes sense. Anyway, that information came out after the information that we covered previously, but let's continue on. You cannot go back and purchase bundles. Now, that was something I was speculating on, and that's hopefully I was clear in that video. But if you're going to make the argument that they're not going to let you go back in time at some point in the future, and they're not going to bundle them up or release those in limited windows like they do with various different skins, I'm not going to buy it. It just seems like a marketing technique that they're going to do somewhere down the line. It's going to drive a lot of sales because you and me aren't going to want to miss out on it, even if we're not actively grinding in the game, because we're going to want to have that. But at some point down the line, it will drive the value that they can say, hey, we're going to bring this back for a limited time. If you missed out on it, pick it up. Things like that. That's standard business marketing, and that's what we'll see. They don't have to confirm it to me. I'm also talking about a long span of time. So you're telling me in 5 or 10 years, if the game's a real big success, they wouldn't do something like that? I guess we could put some money down on it. $5 in 10 years. If I'm wrong, there you go. So in this case, this has been explicitly specified numerous times since PAX. The content that the Battle Passes bring, like game modes, new areas and such, will stay, but the Battle Pass itself will not remain purchasable after the next one comes out. Now, as I'm listening to this, I realize that typing this wrong information was effectively your whole video. So RIP. I suggest pinning a comment with the actual proper information or editing the video. The gaming industry has enough misinformation, unintended as it was. Your video still is misinformation. And so this is just, I want to bring this up because like this is really interesting because this piqued my curiosity. One of the things about a video as opposed to an article is the video's up. And I don't delete videos as a general rule. It looks shady to me. Anytime somebody quotes unquote deletes videos, that always just kind of bothers me personally, because if you're gonna, it's a function of time at the time that the information was correct. And the thing is that information can change. So I get where they're coming from, but I sense a little bit of just pure ignorance on their part, not understanding how time works. I'm not trying to insult them at all, but it just seemed a little bit like hostile. I'm like, all right, chief, it doesn't, like, I don't know what war they're waging. And so but the good side of this, like I said, let's start with the negative, move our way to the positive. Let's shine into it, because this was like, okay, what has been announced since I filmed that video? And yeah, the devs over on Discord have confirmed that the battle passes will have a window in which that you can purchase them. Honestly, it makes complete sense. But over on the Reddit, this is where some things I want to highlight. So they start with battle passes will only be available during a certain purchase. Once purchased, you can take as long as you like to finish them though. In short, you are screwed. So I don't think you're screwed personally. I think ultimately you're looking at the idea that it's going to drive the incentive to purchase the pass, which is a good thing. I'm not against this because you can grind on it at your own pace. So for me, ultimately, I would log in, buy the pass, and if I'm playing it, I'm playing it. Or if I'm taking a break, I can just farm, I can just kind of store those up so that when I do want to play, I've got these long gaming sessions. Dreamforger follows it up, says, so still FOMO? I read it like this. You might be wrong. You can always get the battle pass, but you cannot get access to the premium function like the Payong to skip levels, but the full pass is available. Again, that's just how I read it. As they stated, no FOMO. And Rudeki says, a community manager confirmed in Discord last night the purchase is limited to the time you spend to unlock it. It is all completely up to you. So unlimited. So Dreamforger follows up. You have 3 months to buy it and you can unlock it in your own pace. Just to make sure I get it right. And Rudeki says, yes, correct. 3 months to buy it and unlimited time to spend on it to complete it. I think this is the way. I think this is the future. I think the idea of that timed battle pass, like the timed battle pass personally is the worst offender of the battle pass model. And the battle pass model is what evolved from the loot box model. Loot box was spend a little money, maybe get the thing you want. Gambling, aka. The battle pass was, hey, we'll show you everything you need to do. Just play the game. And that seemed to work, especially worked for a while. Very popular model, clearly from the numbers. But as more and more people have adopted that model, the model has to change. So we started to see more companies add in the non-expiration. Buy the battle pass, grind on the battle pass at your pace. However, some of that seemed to kind of lack the kind of get in now moment, that driving factor behind it. And so them going this direction is not surprising. In fact, them announcing this literally after and clarifying this literally after I filmed the second video in which I kind of talk about how I could see companies actually going this way, honestly is just icing on the cake for me, because that in and of itself was kind of all connected together. And we even speculated about this over on a podcast over on Work to Game with my friend Chris, sitting down, just breaking down, saying, this is the kind of the level of FOMO that we're going to end up seeing happen from time to time, as that kind of trickles itself out. So at its core, there's a couple things just to wrap this video up in kind of a positive way. Thank you, Mariner. I'm hopefully not butchering your name. Definitely trying not on purpose, for the comment, because this is a good conversation to have, because this is the reality of the medium that we have here, as opposed to something that is happening more in real time. Clearly, like Mariner is a active following, already probably die hard game. And I can't wait to share more about Wayfinder with you guys. It's gonna be exciting. Anyhow, at its core, as information changes and rolls out, it's ridiculous to expect anybody to start taking down videos. I think there's a level of here that is trying to protect somebody who it's really their responsibility to go out and find additional information. If I make a video in the past, you know, a couple, like let's say 2 weeks ago, and in 2 weeks time, new information comes out, I can make a new video. I try to link those, but we're not taking down videos. We're just not going to take down videos. Somebody can go and probably see the old video. In fact, sometimes people find guides from years ago that are outdated, but those then can drive people into the newer videos. And I usually try to link those up together so that people can ideally follow the history and time of when things happen. The other side of this is that as the information comes out, I usually try to film it. It doesn't necessarily mean that the video is going to be coming out at the same moment that I sit down to film these. Sometimes I get busy, and so I was able to film it based off the information that came out from PAX, and then the additional information that they clarified on Discord I was not privy to, and now I am, which is cool because it then confirms the thing that I thought it would, that was like that I could see companies doing. And so this brings us to the community question. This brings us to the ultimate theory, or the ultimate test that is being applied to us as gamers right now. Is this the right amount of FOMO? I cannot side with the idea of zero FOMO because that does not exist. It does not exist in any plane of reality. There's always going to have to be a choice that you make, right? That's the idea. What are you missing out on? What's the opportunity cost that is being applied to you over anything else? However, from that perspective, the artificial, the sales pressure and tactics, is this the right amount? Honestly, if we were going to put them on a tier list or a scale, and this is YouTube after all, you know, we got to tier list these things, the algorithm. If we put those on a scale, when it comes down to it, this perhaps is the way. I honestly feel incredibly confident about this model because you do have 3 months to purchase the content. There's additional content, like we know, and we talked about in the news video, the things that they're adding in aren't going away. You know, the game's going to continue to evolve, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing for everybody. But then essentially, that pressure to purchase, I think, is a good thing. The game is fun. It's a fun game, and I can't wait for more people to check it out and see if it's their kind of game, right? And I want good games to get money, but I don't want good games to dictate how I should play them and when I should play them. And so for this is a complete tip of the hat. This is a good move. This should be the thing you open up your wallets to support, because these kind of changes have a rippling effect. The entertainment industry, not to go on a rant, but I want to wrap it up real quick for you because I'm not here to waste your time. The entertainment industry is all about trends. If you want to be a full-timer, like you notice that the full-timers are all very onto the trends. This is Hollywood, gaming, and things like that. If this model can prove successful and financially stable, we could hopefully see an end of the artificially injected FOMO, gotta grind your ass off battle passes, because there is going to be a time where there's just too much and it's going to be too stressful and you're going to have too many real life things that are going to require you. And I think that's a loss. I think that's a loss for the industry, for the games, for the communities, and more. I'm perfectly fine with this. I'm perfectly fine with myself collecting a whole set of their battle passes and then grinding my ass off in the summer or the winter or whatever works for my schedule. I'm all for it. So I'd love to know your thoughts. Thanks guys for hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, you can always hit that like button. If you didn't like it, you can always double tap this dislike button. It hasn't been functioning for some people, so everybody seems very pleased by my videos. If you guys want to see the original videos and the things that I talked about linked, check the description, maybe here on screen, one way or the other. I'll try to get that to you. Thanks so much for your time, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. But until then, take care.